Hey there. Like most of you, I gave up on the idea of Tony Hawk 3+4 ever coming out after Vicarious Visions got eaten by Call of Duty. It's been almost 5 years since Tony Hawk 1+2 came out, and I just thought I didn't think it was gonna happen, right? Like there was rumors and whatnot of 3+4 back in the day, but then Tony said that it was all dead after Vicarious Visions got eaten, and so I really wanted this to happen. I was stoked. I wanted 3+4, baby. 1+2 was my favorite game of that year, and I loved 1 and 2 when I was a kid. It's one of those things that like formed me as a person. Like Tony Hawk 2's Create-A Park was the first time that I was like, oh, like humans, like people build these. Like you can take these things and build your own world. That Tony Hawk 2 was half of the reason why I became a 3D artist, was because it opened up my eyes to like how this stuff gets built. And so I've been building my own little Create-A Park tiles, essentially, like building out all the pieces that you would need to be able to build a park. And why does this tie into Tony Hawk 3+4? Because for the last 2 months, I've been working on all this stuff, been building all this out. And my goal was to build out the Foundry, like build a version of the Foundry for Tony Hawk 1+2, like put it in as a mod. But now that 3+4 exists, or will soon, like I'm not gonna finish this. I'm not gonna finish this. Which sucks. That hurts. But it's also like, all right, now I'm free. But I've been going through and building out, modeling all of the assets that you would need to be able to put the map together. It's like, oh, okay, we need an H beam, which I didn't know there was a difference between an I beam and an H beam and an L beam. I don't know. I'm a nerd. I don't know this stuff, but apparently this is an H beam, and because it's this way, I don't know, man. There's a difference, but it's like, you need that. You need like a little footer thing to like ground it into the ground, and it's like a lot of those you won't notice it in the game, but you'll feel it. And it's weird that you got to think about that stuff, but you do. I don't know. I wanted to build this map because I wanted to play more Tony Hawk, and I figured other people would want to play more Tony Hawk 2 or Tony Hawk 3. And so this is what I've been building, and now it's all worthless. And, we got this old map, right? We got some Tony Hawk 3 goodness, and it's like, this map's a classic, certified classic, absolute banger. I mean, the map itself honestly is kind of mid, but it seems like one of the more doable maps to build. We're just like doing a little quick back and forth. It's like, these little walk paths, I wanted to do a like this flavor of like, it's a walk path. It's not like, I don't know what it is in here where it's like, all right, it's got the like diamond plate type flooring on it as like, okay, don't slip, and it's got handrails, but then it's got just like weird green tech walls and like reinforced walls, because that was just like the textures that they had already made for the map, and they were just like, all right, we'll put it there too. But I wanted to take the map and be like, okay, let's reimagine it, same gameplay, same whatever, but make it in the same way that I would assume Vicarious Visions would, and take your own spin on it. Because you look at like Warehouse in Tony Hawk 1 versus 1+2, and it, in your heart, it feels the same, but then it's like all their walls are crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on in the 1+2 version, But I don't know. Went through, built out a ton of the assets, got excited, and then obviously it's not done. You know, I'm missing a ton of stuff. I'm not presenting this as if it's done. It's maybe 30% done at best. But I just wanted to kind of like share what I built. You know, I liked this little guy. This little triangle ramp. Because like in the old game this whole area over here doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. In the context of like a steel foundry. Like we got this little vent that it's one of those where it's just purely Tony Hawk architecture. I couldn't find any examples of steel foundries with like a big water tank. If you guys know of any of why this would be here, please let me know. Other than the fact that it's like, nerd, it's a video game. Just just accept it. I don't know. I was trying to figure it out because when I was building things, I wanted to be like, oh, okay, yeah, this would serve this function in the factory. Similarly, like this little button panel area in the old game, it's like just like a bunch of homie took a picture of dials and stuff and just said, all right, throw it in there.
This work is really depressing.
Yep, very depressing. It's got all these like dials and whatnot, whereas I was like, okay, what is a real foundry? What does their control room look like? What do their cabinets look like? What do their buttons look like? How do they do their screens for their TVs? How do they do all of that stuff? What do their walls look like? What is, like, just going through and like trying to match it to like how a real foundry would be, because that's what we're doing, right? That's what we're doing. And so I was like, oh, okay, we got our button panels. This is kind of what they look like in a thing. And so I was like, all right, here's what we're doing. We got our screens mounted at the top with the button panels and the cabinets that are too dark, but it's because everything's too dark, because the lighting's not done, because nothing's done. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share it because this whole project is about to go onto the hard drive of projects that won't get finished, and it feels bad to throw it away without ever sharing it with anybody. Why are you here? Who knows? We got a little secret area with the bowl, and it's like, if we go back to Maya, where I was modeling everything, got the bowl. I like mocked up the spiral and like the exit ramp without getting it in there, and it's like the roof is like a bunch of modular pieces. A little fan. I don't know. It's been a journey getting to like put this whole thing together and see how these kind of maps would be built. It's felt like a lot of back and forth between me and the original artist that made like the PS2 map, because there's times where I'd be like, oh, okay, does this area, you know, we're putting this like little ramp here, right? This little up ramp. Where are we at? And I was like, when I was building it, I was like trying to space it out where I'm like, okay, do I want 1, 2 squares, or do I want 1, 2, 3 squares going across? Because 2 felt a little bit too small, 2 felt a little bit too big, 3 feels maybe a little bit too small. I don't know, but that's how my asset worked without having to like build new stuff, right? And so then I go into the, like, while I was practicing for this video. I go into the old thing and I'm like, oh, okay, well they did 3, right? And then up top they did 3, and then going down they did 2. And so, I don't know. It's just amusing to me. I'm disappointed that I won't get to finish this, but I'm stoked that I'll get to play 3+4. I don't know. This project's dead. I do a lot of other art for stuff. If anybody seeing this is looking for a 3D artist and you think I'm competent, reach out. And I just want to make levels for video games. That's all I want to do, man. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit the bell, hit the like, hit the YouTuber talk. YouTube tells me that only 70% of you are not subscribed. Oh God. Anyway, thanks for watching. Can't wait for 3+4.